This video is sponsored by you, but we have 13 operators to review today, so let's get to it. Walter is the best operator in the game, and it's not even close. Watch this video for more details. Yeah, spoilers, she's number 1, womp womp. You have the best damage in the game by a very wide margin on the AoE range of the Chapter 10 canon, and she also has passive camouflage when she has one of the turrets in the 8 surrounding tiles, which makes it pseudo-permanent. This means that the only things that can hit her are splash damage and blocked enemies, but she's a ranged operator, so it doesn't really matter. Yes, you heard that right, she's invulnerable to 99% of things most of the time. Also, her off-skill basic attack damage is higher than most operator skills. Skill 3 is her best skill, her literal only downside is that she unironically makes the game too easy. LOGOS is another top 5 operator. Yeah, spoilers again, but it's your fault for not having watched that video the day it released. The short of it is that he power crept the entire caster class. Yes, every operator in here. He has every caster niche and he does them all wonderfully. He is the best AFK caster with skill 1, the best elemental caster with the module, and the best multi-target caster with skill 3. Plus, he can somewhat boss kill too. People overlook him because of Walter, but he's also insane. Civilight Eterna is not Teresa. What she is the best enemy heal in the game, things like Madrock and Toilet. She's a side grade to Skadi Alter, not a power creep. If you want a passive HP regen throughout the entire stage with a decent debuff, go for Skalter. If you want a gigantic burst heal for 30 seconds on a massive range every 55 seconds, go for Civilight Eterna. She gives a fat buff too, and redistributes operator HP in range every 2 seconds, meaning she's the best way to keep Sutra alive. If you don't have a Skadi Alter, you can play her with a skill 1 to achieve the same effects, albeit she's lacking Skadi's buff. Hey, SUPAH from the future here. I am recording this later because I forgot about Amiya's second medic alter. I don't even have a script for this part. She's a perfectly serviceable unit, and her skill 2 is actually surprisingly good, but as usual with Amiya, you can only use it once per stage for some reason. This ends up kind of gimping it, but for that one activation she's kinda decent. She's definitely the best Amiya we have currently, at least. So if you're gonna use Amiya, use the medic. Fang the Fire-Sharpened is alright. She's the middle ground between Vigna and Bagpipe. Pretty solid damage and a unique talent, making her cost less DP and reducing the cost of the next operator you deploy by 2 when she's retreated if you have the module. Not the best out there, but a perfectly serviceable operator. You'll replace her when you get something better. Follower 0 is kinda good actually. Being a ritualist means you get 12k true damage out of her. The issue is keeping her on the field long enough to actually get that damage, and having her at max spot. If you have any other ritualist build, she's effectively useless, though true damage for 0 deployment slots is nothing to scoff at. Now onto the sparks. Since this is a very important banner, I will be covering them too. The original W is okay at best. She's a very decent crowd control operator with some nice damage to boot, though there's far better if you want crowd control, namely Ethan. Man, I bring him up often, don't I? I wouldn't recommend to spark her at all. Rosmontis released 4.5 years ago, and she fell out of the meta 4.5 years ago. She already barely had any use on her own, but now that Walter is in the game, they could remove Rosmontis entirely and nothing would change. She's a cutie, but avoid her. Based Seaborn Goddess and trans icon Skadi Alter, yes seriously, is still a very good unit, though the fact Civilight Eterna is free and that she also functions as a diet sculptor makes the need for her far smaller. Her main claim to fame is being a very good permanent HP regen throughout the entire stage with a decent buff. She also has skill 3 if you want to buff someone a lot, which is on par, if not better, than Warfarin. You could spark her, but I am safely certain you can get by with just Civilight Eterna. Nearl Alter is amazing. She's one of the best true damage dealers in the game with skill 3, though its uses are very limited nowadays because you need to block enemies and anyone you'd want to use this on is either unblockable or will just kill her. So you use her with skill 2, which makes her a heli drop with a bunch of shields and that consumes 0 deployment slots. That is incredible. You should probably spark her, but only if you don't have Texas Alter already. Specter Specter Alter is ass. Okay, no, she's not ass, but she requires a lot of resources to be good. Ideally, you want her with Gladia, so you gotta build her too, and with both modules. That is a tall order. She really brings nothing to the table that justifies a spark, and she's super replaceable anyway, avoid her. Texas Alter is the one operator you should 100% spark. She kind of trivializes most of the game. If you have 300 rolls to spend, and you don't have Texas Alter, go get Texas Alter. She's a fast redeploy with damage on par with boss killers, plus she can hit aerial enemies and crowd control. Mumu is a meme unit you play for fun or waifu reasons, and nothing else. If you don't have Dorothy or Madrox/Penance built as well, don't even consider her, since she really needs the stat-sticky units to shine. She's absolutely not worth 300 rolls, but at least she's not as bad as Rosmontis. Here's the members, I love you, special thanks to Bubobi, Zilot, Will Damage, Mafionemo, Zephyrinix, Chasero, Nupo, Lotacchio, Nerd Rage, Adrimula, Makiriwera, Nutakaki, Jitzer, Mimako, Gudulio, Maxosets, and Gomchamba, JJF. That's all, my Gummy, bye!